Bangalore has ranked second in the list of most polluted city in India. The busy Peenya junction had peak pollution of nearly 1300 micrograms per cubic meter.
Air pollution is creating a huge problem in the sense we have created this pollution, so it's now coming back to us. So there have been quite a few incidents. I mean, you are now aware of what is happening in Delhi, the smog in Delhi. Similar situation is also going to happen in Bangalore. Maybe not today, tomorrow, but definitely. But it won't be too far. So one is the smog, which is going to harm a lot of people, especially children and women. Apart from human being, it is also going to affect a lot of other living creatures, various other plants, including the animals which are dependent on our the urban ecosystem. So overall, it is going to have a very negative, catastrophic impact on the environment and of course human health. A lot of respiratory ailments, like breathing disorders are there. It's going to create a lot of congestion in the lungs. So lung related diseases are, as I said, respiratory ailments is definitely on the rise. As it is, Bangalore is known for it because of the pollen issues in Bangalore. So this is adding to it. A lot of oxides of nitrogen, sulfur oxides, which is all spewed out through these vehicular emissions. So that is again getting mixed. It is there in the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is there, carbon monoxide. So all these things are out there in the atmosphere, which is creating a lot of imbalance. Imbalance in the amount of how much of nitrogen should be there, what is the amount of oxygen that should be there in the atmosphere. So all this, there is a complete loss in the balance of all these gases. So this is what is creating a lot of problems, not just to human health, but as I said, even to the fauna and flora of the urban environment today.
A sharp rise in case of respiratory diseases among children and women due to air pollution. According to pulmonologists, children between the age of 10 to 15 are most affected, and also pregnant women.
Definitely, it will have a health impact. Number one, there is a rise in the asthma, a rise in the chronic bronchitis cases. There is an increased incidence of asthma in the younger individuals. Similarly, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases are also on the rise. That is an impact. Sporadically, now the constructions are also happening, and that will also raise the level of pollution more. Being a garden city, it also has added this thing of pollen burden as well, which makes a person who is susceptible to asthma to get affected by the inhalation of the pollens. So these are some of the problems that we do face. As you rightly said, the vehicle density is rising, and everybody is moving with their own vehicle. We don't depend on the mass transport as such. So that also probably is the reason where it is increasing.
Around 54,000 lakh two-wheelers which contribute to the biggest clunk of air pollution. They discharge emission directly in the air. It's accounted by 56% of carbon monoxide emission. People are facing problem by smoke and dust.
I usually travel by bus for my office, and sometimes pollution is too high. I can't properly manage to breathe. Sometimes dust chokes me very badly. Due to the dust and the pollution, I'm feeling sick most of the times.
According to World Health Organization report last year, 13 of 20 most polluted cities in the world are in India.
Causes of air pollution are burning of fossil fuels, the sulfur dioxide emitted from the combustion of fossil fuels like coal, petroleum and other factory combustions is one of the major causes of air pollution. Pollution emitting from vehicles including trucks, jeeps, cars, trains, airplanes causes immense amount of pollution.
There are so many laws to control air pollution, yet unable to implement it properly.
So as far as the factory emissions are concerned, of course there are many, but there is no implementation in the sense of course the government has made certain laws. There has been regular checkups, the routine visit of factory and the reports. Everything is there. There has been, under law there is a provision where every year a factory needs to get a fitness certificate. Okay, so for a factory, of course there is a measure. If the fitness is not there, they don't get the pollution control clearance, so they get stuck. The factory does not move on from there. So at least to an extent the factory is controlled, whereas when it comes to vehicle, it is every year adding up, not reduction. So the control of emission is now has to be on the vehicle. How do you, on the one side, to boost up the revenue, the government says you sell cars, you purchase cars, you are given benefits for the revenue. But when it comes to terms of pollution, revenue is given focus but not the pollution. Then how would you control the pollution? You make emission laws, vehicles emitting this much amount of emission will cause so much of pollution. But on the other side, you give targets to the car manufacturers that you sell this many cars, this much amount of revenue is generated. So somewhere the government has to balance it, right? That not more than this many vehicles can be sold in a year, and these many vehicles can come into place, and these many old vehicles should get destroyed.
Air pollution is at its height and we are still discovering solution. How far it will help us?